if you want to go from childhood again, right?
Yeah. That's the
I don't want to do your job for you.
You have been. I don't think I ever noticed. Frank Skinner was one of your favourite stand-up comedians.
He was my favourite. It was filth, anal sex, and wanking.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
Yeah.
So I can do panel shows and I can do podcasts. The moment I started acting, there was something in my head that could never let go.
So, a quick question about school. Another question about school was, as you said, your nan obviously performed. Was there any element of performance that you were interested in?
I was the lead in the primary school play in the last year.
Errol, I swear to God. Okay, no, but wait, brilliant.
Does that happen a lot?
It's always I was the lead in the play. It's so strange.
But you've got to remember, so it was Robin Hood, right?
Yeah.
There was only 2 boys in my year, so by dint of 50-50, I got the job. Because there was only 2 boys in year 6.
Right. Don't put yourself down.
No.
That
was the best.
Yeah.
And I did really like that. But then the moment I got to secondary school, I had no interest in performing.
Right.
I did drama, but
Did you choose to do drama?
No, I wasn't musical and I wasn't artistic, so I really got boxed in with my GCSE choices.
Which were?
Drama. Like you had to choose.
So you did choose it?
You had those 3.
Yeah,
but,
all right, you got boxed in, but I still think that just to even be comfortable with that or to consider it's just something. I don't think it's nothing.
Yeah. I think you're right.
You know, so that when you come to doing stand-up later on in life, there's some notion of this. There's a
want to be seen, right? There's a definite want to be seen, which I think, yes,
which is
definitely.
Huge.
And I think there's a want to be seen that I liked at primary school. I know it's a small primary school, so this sounds like bullshit, but I was a big fish in that very small pond.
Okay, yeah.
So me and my friend Thomas, who was the other boy in my year, we ran a club at my house after school on a Friday called Marble Mania, because there was a...
Josh, so something that I texted you the other day about this, this kind of... this wonderful ability I think you've always had, back to when I first, met you.
I was a young entrepreneur.
Yeah, of formatting these brilliant shows, and you got it with the new podcast, Museum of Pop Culture.
Museum of Pop Culture.
Absolutely brilliant. It's like,
thank you.
It's like The Rest is History, but for pop culture of the 90s.
Exactly.
Right, and the
80s and 70s, if we run out.
Okay. It's absolutely brilliant. They come in kind of parts, part 1, part 2, part 3. You do it, Matt Crosby and Tom Crane and Susie Ruffle. It's absolutely brilliant. If anyone's watching and listening to this, go and check that out instantly now. I thoroughly recommend it. But, there's also Parenting Hell, which we all know about. It's brilliant with Beckett. But then you had Hypothetical on Dave with James Acaster. But you developed that, right?
Yeah, I like the idea.
Someone told me the idea the other day, reminded me of the idea of what it was. And I thought, that sounds fantastic as well.
Yeah.
So,
what went wrong?
What?
No, it was fine. No, actually.
Do you know what went wrong?
Nothing went wrong.
No. I don't mean that. Hang on, I phrased that wrong. What?
I tell you, I've thought about, because we've all done how many other things, right, in our careers, right?
I'm just hit after hit. Don't worry about me.
But I
don't slip up on anything.
No one has hits, right? So the truth is that 10% of things are hits, if that. 10% are misses.
Yeah.
And everything else is in the middle. Yeah. And it's going from series to series.
Yeah.
And so you do a few series, but each one you do, you're like, are we going to get another one?
Yeah.
And they're like, maybe you could try changing this. And then it's just got enough people to do another series. We'll do one more, but this one, I think it's going to cut through this time. And then you're making it like, is this going to be enough? That's 90% of creative work.
Yeah. Spot on.
Yeah. And very rarely something goes woomph. And the truth is, no one can call what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they'd be a billionaire.
Of course, right. But, you've got this natural ability to come up with these fantastic formats. And I have to say as well, I don't think there are many, not that I can come up with, certainly, there are many comedians that
this is good, though. This is a great format.
This is a podcast. From you.
Yeah, but this is a podcast where it's like, oh, that is, that's, why doesn't that exist?
It's a good. That's it. That's a good. When that's the question.
But that's kind of an observational comedy thing. Is why haven't I thought of that?
Yeah, it's the killer.
Yeah,
absolute killer. Yeah.
But I wonder if you want to go from childhood again, right?
Yeah.
Because that's to bring it back.
That's the
I don't want to do your job for you.
You have been. I don't think I haven't noticed.
But I think because I was totally left to my own devices, I could have not done any homework, or I could have not gone to uni, or I could have not gone to sixth form, or I could have not started a marble-themed after-school club, or I could have not...
You say Marvel or Marble?
Marble.
Sorry, Marble, yes. That's what I thought.
Yeah, I wasn't that ahead of the curve. I could have... I think being left to do your own stuff means that you really, really... it's given me a get up and go.
Right.
And I'll just do this myself then.
Yeah.
And but not in that my parents are like the opposite of what my dad would probably call breadheads. Like money kind of Stephen Bartlett.
I've never heard of I've never heard of
there's a
breadheads.
hippie term.
Oh right.
What
they use about
bread being money, and like breadheads would be people that are obsessed with money, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And you get these people. Often it's interesting, isn't it?
By the way, it's also interesting that that's used pejoratively.
What do you mean?
Well, it's interesting that the breadheads is kind of being used there negatively. That's...
And I think... So we didn't have much money. We were never... I went abroad once with my gran the whole childhood. This isn't sob story. I'm just trying to give you a level of...
Oh, yeah. You don't have to be... It doesn't sound like that.
No, like we'd go on holiday to Wales and we would... I was at a comprehensive school and my parents were keeping the petrol receipts to knock off their freelance tax and all that kind of stuff. It was... So I never felt financially insecure.
Yeah.
I've got friends who have got like... when you meet someone who's post-war and they're really tight because they grew up in that situation. What's it called? Poverty mindset, is it called?
Oh, I don't know. I did not heard that right.
Yeah. I'd never felt insecure about money, but we didn't really have much, if you know what I mean. I've got a drive from doing it myself, but certainly not from in the way, when they're like, it's not been schooled into me or any of that. No,
but it's the idea of play, it seems, a lot of the time.
Yeah.
You go back to, what was it, the Marble
Mania.
You've got to tell me what Marble Mania is.
So, everyone was into marbles for a brief period at school.
Yeah.
Because the House of Marbles, which is, now if you buy any marbles, it'll be from the House of Marbles, but it was based very near where I grew up. They stock them everywhere now.
Okay.
And then we did an after-school club at my house, me and Thomas, where we'd charge people £1 entry, and we'd get like 15 quid a week, basically for having people come around to my house. And then we had a shop where we'd sell them stuff, and then my half-brother, made me a tape of like chart hits that had like Rhythm is a Dancer and On a Ragger Tip by SL2.
Right.
And and we'd play that, and we had disco lights and stuff like that, and then we'd all watch Neighbours. And that was what we'd do on a Friday. So I was a big deal at primary school. Vis-a-vis, I was a big deal at primary school.
But that obviously, that does seem to connect with coming up with these shows. And these shows, one thing I think that you're so good at, again, it comes to that... Does it come to that thing of being on the kind of on the outside and looking in? But you just seem to just have a knack, I think, and maybe this is just my opinion, but having a knack for kind of, and I don't mean this in a bad way, I mean this in a positive way, for broad appeal. It seems like television. Even when you think about what television certainly was in the 90s.
Yeah, because
it was about getting everyone.
Well, it was the monoculture.
Yes,
there was
the
4
monoculture.
channels. There was 4 channels, so
That's
we
it.
had to watch. And if you wanted to watch television, I mean, everyone knows this, right? Or maybe they don't, but like, you watched what was on.
Yes.
So I did watch all those comedies, but I also watched, Watchdog, or I watched Crime Watch UK, or I watched whatever was on.
Well,
because it was what is the least bad of these 4 options.
It's funny you should,
because it's still better than no TV.
Yeah. I think you'll relate to this, if not have something similar. But one of the things of having, my daughter now, an on-demand television, which is, of course, what that means is anything, anytime.
Yeah.
Right? So she's going Frozen, she's going Bluey.
Yeah.
And when we were growing up, there was a window between 3 and 5. And if you missed that, you're watching Panorama with your dad.
Yeah, totally.
I went round Toys R Us looking for teddy bears of Jeremy Paxman.
Yeah. Exactly that. There's no way. But that, I wonder whether that is given in the same way, right? To draw a parallel that I've never thought of before, but in the same way, I was friends with lots of different people at primary school because there was no other options.
Yes.
You got to see all the different TV shows because there was no other options. So actually,
really interesting.
I was watching stuff that maybe I didn't realise was helping me later on. I mean, I think I have come to comedy maybe as a fan, as much as, but not a fan of stand-up. I was never really aware of stand-up because there wasn't much TV.
Again, there wasn't Live at the Apollo.
No.
When we were in the 90s, and there was some stand-up shows that were on very late, or there was the Paramount.
There was
Comedy
a stand-up
channel.
show on after Match of the Day. Wow, I remember seeing Tim Vine on that.
Okay. Did that have any impact?
No, I didn't. It wasn't as good as, like, Tim Vine's great, but they hadn't quite worked out how to film stand-up.
Present it.
Yeah. So it wasn't as good as watching Shooting Stars.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So were there, absolutely. Absolutely. Were there any what were the shows because you've mentioned, watching all of the shows, but were there particular shows that you
Fantasy Football League was huge for me. Because I was into football.
Funnily enough, that's kind of podcasting.
Yeah, totally. And what I liked about it was, it was anarchic. Obviously, it felt niche.
This is sorry for those that just might not know. I should remind or inform that this was David Baddiel and Frank Skinner.
Yeah.
In the 90s, and it was part of that kind of lad culture. It was branded with that.
Yeah, I don't think they would. They kind of got thrown in with it.
Absolutely, it wasn't what they were aiming for.
Yeah. But what I liked about it was, as a football nerd, it appealed. It was unrepentant on the. Frank Skinner said this to me once. He said we had these jokes, which we'd call our no surrender jokes, which were like, these we will stand by because they are like the channel controller's going to say no one knows who that person is, and we're going to go, this is for the football fans. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. And I like that. Do you know what? It's an interesting thing. I remember hearing a comedian say, and this is going back to that thing you say about the turn of phrase, right?
Yes, yeah.
I heard a comedian say that you should always go with the reference that most people will get. Right? Let's give an example for now. If you had a joke about a pop star, go with Taylor Swift. Don't go with Addison Rae, right?
Yes.
So then, because more people will know who Taylor Swift is, I think that's really bad advice.
So do I.
Because
so do I.
The joy is in the quirky reference,
Absolutely.
is in the unexpected reference. So it's much funnier to say, I don't know, it's really difficult to just come up with one, isn't it? But to use my own material,
yes,
it's funnier to say Annika Rice than it is to say Holly Willoughby.
Yes, yeah. Great.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I probably got that from Fantasy Football League.
Yeah.
And actually, the other thing that taught me that is the other way it works is if they don't know the reference, it doesn't matter a jot because they can make it. Because I used to watch The Simpsons religiously, and you'd have to be clinically thick not to understand the joke, even if you didn't. The context is enough.
Clinically thick.
Okay, that person must be a boring politician in America that I haven't heard of.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
You've got to respect people that they can draw. You know, if you don't know who Anneka Rice is in a situation about where the punchline is unlikely TV presenter, you should be able to work it out.
Yeah.
And
go on.
And the people that get it will like it more, and the people that don't get it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, you said it earlier about your, watching television and growing up with this comedy, and you use the word absorbing. And I think with you watching Fantasy Football League, it's just that thing that you do when you're young, and it goes into the unconscious, which is just absorbing that reference left from the reference that you should be using.
Yeah.
Or the go-to, as you put it, the one that everyone else.
So David Schneider once said to me, who was in Partridge,
and directed Josh, your sitcom.
Yeah. So he said that they used to have a thing about a reference that would say it's a bit Milton Keynes, which would mean that's the kind of the reference, the obvious. Alan Partridge could have been from Milton Keynes, but it's funnier that he's from Norwich, because Milton Keynes is the place that everyone knows is naff because it's a new city.
Yeah.
But it's too on the nose.
It's fantastic. I know Norwich is, so in the way I kind of word that to myself is Norwich is left from Milton Keynes.
Yeah,
you go to
totally.
Keynes, you go, well, not here.
Yeah.
So where?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you're absorbing this. You've got Fantasy Football League, which I find, when you're looking for the patterns, and of course that's what this is. Fantasy Football League is a podcast. It's podcast before podcast. I mean, Badil and Skinner Unplanned.
That's a podcast. That's the first podcast, really, isn't it? Yeah. Badil and Skinner Unplanned is the first podcast, probably. But also, I think there's a reason that our generation are so good at podcasts, which is that our exact generation of comedians are the best at podcasts.
Right.
And that's because we were the first generation that grew up with podcasts in our early 20s. So we were there when the Ricky Gervais show and the Adam and Joe show. What were we then, like 21 or 22 or whatever?
But when I discovered XFM,
exactly. And so when we're in our early 20s, without realising it, we've absorbed how to do podcasts.
Yeah.
And what works and what doesn't, and what we like and what doesn't like. And so we are good at podcasts in the same way that the people younger than us can naturally do Instagram and we can't. Do you know what I mean?
I feel seen. Absolutely. It's in them, isn't it? It's just absolutely absorbed in them. And
that's fair enough.
Absolutely, it's fantastic. But you're right. It's the
grammar.
Yes. And absorbing that naturally. For me to attempt to do those videos, I would be looking at going, so how do they...
Yeah.
What am I looking? And as soon as you start having to do that, it's over.
They're not doing it totally, and it's that. It's you just can speak like that. It's the natural grammar of the situation.
Yeah,
I think that's why we're quite good at podcasts because we get it.
Yes,
not because, but this is everything you learn. All the best things, most important things you learn, are because you're interested. Right?
Yeah.
You can't retain any information if you're not interested.
Oh, I certainly can't.
And so, that's why I remember interviewing Richard Osman for Parenting Hell, and he was like, just let your child do what they're interested in. Because
I've heard this, yeah.
Because he was like, if your child wants to play computer games, let them play computer games. Because I think his son now works in computer games, like as a designer or something.
Wow.
And it's like, I might be slightly, I don't know exactly, but like, I think there's a lot to be said in the thing you're going to be best at is the thing that you're naturally interested in.
Do you know what? I can't wait to get back and tell the missus this and get that iPad out. Look, if she wants to use the iPad, Richard Osman said she should be able to use the iPad.
Seen how many books he sells? Doesn't quite make sense, but
okay.
So because when I tried to learn the guitar, and I can play the guitar, but it was always, I suppose I better do some practice. Whereas people who play the guitar, guitarists, they feel they don't want to ever not be holding a guitar.
That's exactly it. So what other shows then? So you had
Fantasy Football League, The Simpsons, which was just the best thing ever at that period. So that's series 4 to 8. I don't think anything has ever touched that for greatness. It was it had so much heart, but it also had, once again, it's not like, I'm disrespectful in that kind of way that shock comedians are.
Yeah.
But it was very counterculture, The Simpsons, in the terms of it would slag off everything.
Right.
And then it was just all the kind of sitcoms like Father Ted, or and then sketch shows like The Fast Show or The Royal Family. I don't think The Royal Family, for some reason, has got quite the respect in the pantheon of sitcoms that it deserves, possibly because it came just before The Office, so it kind of gets slightly forgotten under The Office, but that was incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. Did it in any way, out of interest, did it in any way mirror your life?
No. It didn't really, except that we always had the TV on.
Okay.
But no, I don't.
Oh, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Sorry, you said it's not. It didn't. But I were you watching these shows with your parents?
Yes, and so
I think that's. I think that's
important.
I think that was
So my mum would stay up and watch fantasy football with me in the same way that I say, and this isn't taken from that. It's just my view, I think, or maybe it is taken from that subconsciously. Same way I say, meet your kid on what they like.
Yeah.
So I'm taking my daughter horse riding at the moment. I'm not interested in horse riding, but I'd much rather do that than force her to go to Plymouth Argyle. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Again, we'll cut this bit out. I do not want my missus getting any ideas. I've moved to Shepherd's Bush so I can walk to the ground.
Yeah.
But yeah, I absolutely know this is
and so my mum got into football to go to Plymouth Argyle with me.
So that really, honestly,
and then she'd watch Fantasy Football League.
Sort of melt.
And so
sweet.
Yeah, and
do you know, I think it was. Sorry, I've just.
Yeah.
I've not kind of. I don't think I've spoke to anyone that who's it's not upbringing, but their connection to comedy. Their connection to comedy mirrors mine so much. So I'm so.
Well, we've got a lot
to what you're saying.
Yeah, we've got a lot of good and bad in common, Sean.
Yeah. But interestingly to me specifically, and maybe I'm wrong about this, I felt like I was actually trying to almost not impress my parents, but I wanted to watch comedy with my mum. She loved Goodness Gracious Me, and she loved The Fast Show.
Yeah,
and getting to laugh with my parents was huge. So I'm not sure that they were doing what your mum is saying they were doing and kind of meeting me. I think I was actually meeting my parents.
I think there was a lot of that as well. Like, I watched Have I Got News for You?
Oh my God. I remember being at secondary school and someone walked past a class and was bald on top and had hair on the side. And I said, and I probably used to speak like this a little bit.
Yeah.
And I said, that guy looks like William Hague. And the teacher had no idea how this kid knew William. How do you know William Hague?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Would watch Have I Got News for You?
Yeah. So, of course, because it was brilliant. And it was.
Angus.
And I know this sounds wild now. It felt incredibly edgy.
Oh, yeah.
It felt absolutely so disrespectful and edgy.
Irreverent.
So
irreverent. Getting the butter on to replace the
politician. Yeah, mad. So So I'd watch all of that, yeah.
Yeah, so,
but I'd still be watching Men Behaving Badly and Only Fools and Horses and all these straight, like, big things.
Sorry, one of, in my kind of top 10 greatest sitcom moments, or certainly British sitcom moments of all time.
Is this Del Boy falling through the bottom? Here we go.
I rewatch it, and you go, maybe it's not that, and every time I watch it, goes, it is that good. It's Tony Neil Morrissey trying to
pull his tooth out.
Oh my god!
Is that what you're going to say? Yeah, so incredible.
It's one of the greatest sitcom moments.
It's so well done.
I don't know why it's not. Kind of heralded as one of the great. It's having to call the hospital.
Yeah,
you pull the tooth out. You can't speak. Your mouth's bleeding. You can't say Dorothy.
Oh, yeah.
Because you pulled your tooth out. So you go, oh, can't speak, and then you go and then say, what? You can't hear it. So again, another bit of comic genius is let's not have their voice. So, sorry.
Yeah.
And having to go for it. And then he faints.
So good. It's good.
Just unreal.
It's like a kind of virtuoso performance.
Oh!
But I loved all that mainstream sitcom stuff without realising. I didn't really know what was mainstream and what.
Of course.
But so, like, I loved One Foot in the Grave. I'd say, comparable to that, where I still watch it maybe 3 or 4 times a year, is when he goes to answer the phone. There's a small puppy in the storyline. And he's sat in his chair and he goes to answer the phone and he goes, 4291, and he picks it up and he's got the puppy. And he's like, what the hell? And it's like, it's up there with Del Boy falling through the bar in terms of just bang. But I loved all of it. So you just love it. But I still would have preferred to be a musician.
But that's the end of the pod.
Yeah.
That'd be a great ending. But I still wish I was a musician. Thanks very much. But what I would say is, about that age, which you've made me think of through listening to you, is you don't, when you're young, and certainly when you're at school, and yet with the what did you call it, the monoculture, you didn't discriminate.
No.
I loved everything, and it was the exact same with me. It might be with you and stand-up, I want to find out, is I loved it all. Whatever it was, I loved it. And as you get older, you have a slightly more, what's the word?
I think I went the other way, actually.
Oh.
So I think I got to uni. I got to uni and I became... So I remember at uni, I went to the Comedy Store in Manchester a couple of times.
Wow. Did you end up playing that eventually?
No.
I never... No.
Never got beyond 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Still yet to get the call.
One day, mate.
I tell you a huge difference between me and you.
Yeah.
Is I know that your origin story is that you went to Comedia and you absolutely loved it, right?
Yeah.
I never had that with comedy clubs. So I went to the Comedy Store a few times, but I didn't really know they existed, these comedy clubs.
No.
And then...
So you're at uni, sorry. You're at uni.
Uni, I went to see Stewart Lee. I went to see Harry Hill on tour. I went to see Stewart Lee in the local pub, Excess Malarkey. You know that Excess Malarkey?
I do. I've never played it, but I do.
So it's not there anymore, but it was in where I used to go and watch the Champions League because we didn't have Sky.
Okay.
During the week, and on Tuesdays, Stewart Lee, who I knew from Lee and Herring.
Of course you did.
10 years earlier on TV. I was like, that bloke's playing for like £4. And then I went and watched it.
Not anymore.
No, fucking hell. But I went to watch it and I walked in. I can tell you the exact date because it was the night Chelsea were playing Barcelona in the Champions League, and I was a bit like torn between whether I should go.
Right.
Because it was the Mourinho year. So Chelsea were quite exciting.
Oh, yeah. And that rivalry was huge.
Yeah, that rivalry was huge. So it was the night of that match. And I remember walking in, getting a pint, and then Stewart Lee was at
you alone?
No, with my mate. We'd bought tickets for £4 the week before. Stewart Lee was at the back, and he was wearing Converse, and he looked like he was in the Strokes.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And I was like, fuck me, this is everything. Straight away. And then he went on.
Oh, that's so cool.
There was a guy in the audience, heckler got thrown out. And then, I know, like a drunk.
Yeah.
And then he did that bit about, I don't know whether he did these bits, because when you're like, maybe I'm just misremembering, but that bit about the inflatable Alf.
I was going to say, would it be
Princess
from the DVD stand-up comedian? Are those
I don't know.
That Diana routine is from the DVD stand-up comedian.
So I think it probably is that one.
Diane.
And then I remember we stayed and we got uni, so I was just stayed in the bar and drank.
Yeah.
And Josie Long was supporting him, right? And I remember like standing near them just to kind of be in their orbit. And I heard Josie say to Stu, I mean, they won't remember this, obviously, like, do you want to do shots? Because they'll give us any booze we want or something like that. And I just thought, what the fuck? What a life. Got to be kidding me. These guys are living the dream. But I didn't act upon it. But it was planted.
It's
planted,
it's
right?
Absolutely, it's so clearly and so obvious. What you've described there, by the way, is I have my version of that. So and I feel like that's it.
So the way it's different from you, right, is then I went on, and when I started, you'll remember this, I was basically a Stewart Lee impressionist.
It was amazing, the E17 routine.
It was a good routine, yeah,
fantastic.
But. Like, it was a good routine, but I wasn't an impressionist, as in I wasn't doing his material. But what I mean is, I didn't know much about stand-up comedy at all. So, if you like one band and you write a song, it'll sound like that band. I liked one comedian,
and obviously when comedians start, certainly nowadays, not the generation before us so much. So not your Stewarts and not your Jack D's, and Lee Evans, and We ended up kind of having something to go off.
Yeah,
whereas
exactly.
they didn't. And yours, the thing you were going off was Stewart Lee.
Yeah, and so that's why I started stand-up sounding like him. But, right, so then I do all the gigs, and then, so it was 2008, 9, 10 kind of time that you remember. Yeah. And then you get into the clubs. So you loved the clubs, right? Or you had seen comedy in the clubs.
Yeah.
My first real experience of the clubs was doing the clubs. I didn't know they existed.
You don't.
Does that make sense?
Of course it doesn't. You don't suit the clubs. The style doesn't suit.
No, exactly.
The club, because it's not attacking.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
That's a compliment. It's
but
I just want to flag this. Hold that thought. Is that you said you saw Harry Hill and Stewart Lee. Even though those are two huge names, there's still something about being on the fringe.
Yeah.
The fringes of culture about even though they're hugely popular.
Yeah.
So you're going in as, it's so strange because you're such a mainstream act.
But remember, Frank Skinner, was my favourite comedian growing up. So there is that. Like, there's Frank Skinner, there's Jack D, there's Joe Brand.
Yeah.
I did love that kind of stuff. So but what happened when I got in the clubs?
Yes, but let's get to the clubs.
Which I found really interesting, is suddenly there's this kind of narrative within the clubs of, this is where it's at, and this is comedy, and this is kind of proper comedy.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, what? I didn't even know this existed. Like, my understanding was, because why wouldn't it be? Because how would I know? There was open mic comedy, and then there was TV. They put in a division in between it.
Mate, you were on the circuit for about 10 minutes.
No, I wasn't.
That's basically how it was for you. Is you're on the open mic circuit, and then you're on TV. You basically showed up at the comedy clubs and went, "This isn't for me. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go and tour and do telly. Thank you very much. Enjoy yourselves, guys." But
it felt so weird that it didn't suit me at all, and I found it so horrific and intimidating on and off stage.
Yeah, I know.
I used to. I can still remember leaving London on a Friday at 2 p.m. and there'd be, or maybe it'd be later because there'd be people who'd finished their working week having pints outside the pub. And in my head, those pints are like the pint at the end of an advert where they've got like condensation on.
Yeah.
And I'm going to Birmingham to just really be terrified.
And it's sort of it's quite sort of, well then I don't know too much right now, but it was very what's the word?
Alpha.
Alpha. Alpha is absolutely the word I'm looking for. And it was about killing. Yeah,
it was about
it was aggressive
submission of the audience. Almost like, and so I mean, by
the way, I should say it for you. You were still fantastic, because I remember.
I was about to say it myself, actually, but, but I wasn't fantastic. I had bad ones, but mainly it would go well.
Yeah.
But I never felt comfortable.
Right, that's really interesting.
And I think part of that was because it wasn't schooled in me at all. It was like, oh, this wasn't my thought this isn't what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
This isn't why I started this.
Of course not, because you didn't know about it, so how could you be possibly aiming for it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So how did you...
So I always, I suppose, had higher ambitions without even realising I had high ambitions, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does make sense. Yeah. I mean, it's very... You're very lucky you're almost not glad to be there. It's like, know, because I remember getting into the clubs, from the open mic kind of level into the clubs, and it was like I'd kind of found... I've been let in. I can't believe it. I'm here. This is what I dreamed of.
Yeah, of course, because you'd seen it. But me and you are fully aware that whoever you are, even if you're Romesh, there'll be moments where you have huge professional jealousy of something other people are doing. Right?
Yeah.
That's not like, what I mean is, I'm using Romesh to mean the top.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes, that's, we got that.
Yeah. And you'll always have those moments of huge, but I can think about that for people who've got panel shows, people who've won this, people who've done that, people who are with this, who are doing this tour, these venues, whatever, right?
Yes.
We've all had those thoughts. People whose podcasts...
You've got some good podcasts as well, mate. You don't need to worry about this one. Thanks for coming.
But we've all got that, right?
Yes.
I was never, when I was getting off the open mic circuit, and when people were doing clubs, I never felt like I was jealous of that.
Yeah, right.
In the same way I was jealous of people when they first signed with agents, or I was jealous with people when they got support for other people on tour.
Oh, wow, right.
Because support made sense to me.
Yeah.
Because I'd seen it.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
I think you had a thing that I had, which was... You did support for Stephen K. Amos, right? In big venues.
Yeah, I loved a great time.
And I did
life.
Alan Carr and Stephen Merchant.
I remember you doing Merchant. I couldn't believe it. What's the idea?
Yeah, it was mad. But they were A, both really lovely and great fun, but B, I think that totally transformed the way I performed as a comedian, and it meant that I was suddenly used to playing big rooms, and I played comedy for big rooms. Yeah. And I wrote comedy for... So this is going to sound pretentious. All right, so you'll enjoy this.
Yes, I will, exactly.
There's a book called How Music Works by David Byrne from Talking Heads. Okay. And there's a bit in it where he says about how you can trace the history of music, how it's adapted to the rooms it's played in. So choral music comes about because it was played in because it was sung in these ornate churches or whatever. And then punk is fast and it hits you in the face because it was played in a room where the sound quality was so bad that it was about energy rather than precision. Or dance music is played, that's a reflection of, boom, boom for the drugs or whatever. That's maybe not the room, but whatever. I think your stand-up comedy obviously adapts to the rooms you play.
Yeah.
And so when I was playing the clubs, I was starting to write shorter bits and I was swearing more and you couldn't write longer routines. And when you're on the open mic circuit, you have to be much more conversational because it's fucking mental if you go in and perform big to 6 people above a pub. Yeah. And then when you get to perform...
None taken, by the way.
And then when you get to perform in theatres as a support, you start to perform like someone who deserves to be in theatres. So they're longer routines to people who aren't drunk, people who are going to listen to you, people who are excited for the big act. And so I
totally agree.
And that works better for them when that stuff is put on television. It makes more sense.
In a comedy club, I think something that we subconsciously seem to is for some reason subconsciously drilled into us, and I don't know whether this comes from the Jongleurs' day. So all the acts in that we would have joined on the circuit were coming from being honed and kind of distilled at Jongleurs, playing to stag do's. They had to have a 20-minute set that was so dense that it could make 20 shit-faced men on cocaine laugh.
Yeah.
And so what happens is it means that you're entering the arena of the comedy club with almost this that they're there to be beaten. I have to beat this audience into, like you said it's submission. I have to win. It's almost one. If I had a fantastic gig, I won. And that mentality, I think, going back to this, I think it's a brilliant point about the rooms you're playing. That mentality probably comes from Jongleurs.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you get into the theatre space. Everyone is sat down in these huge, beautiful theatres,
facing the right way.
Facing the right way. They
Not
don't have
without
nachos.
food. Yeah, without food. Yeah.
But and Stephen Merchant's going to be on, and Stephen Merchant, by the fact that he's
done the offstage announcement.
He's done the offstage announcement, and he's saying, "So I vouch for this."
Yeah.
Well, that's a completely different mentality of who's this prick.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, maybe, the other argument is it's easier, but I do think it produces a different type of comedy in you. Not consciously, you just write for the rooms.
Yes.
And it's the same with bands, right? You see it. Coldplay's a really good example.
It's the best example. As soon as you made that a point, I thought of Coldplay. It was the first thing. It was parachutes to the last piece. And it's
they have to write for the rooms they're playing, and they're not even rooms. And so I think that's a really interesting one, because I think all those formative things for me weren't the circuit; they were the tours that I saw.
Yeah. But there's a kind of gap, I suppose, that's not been filled in, which I want to know is, you go from being a teenager at school that watches the Fast Show and Father Ted and whatnot and all of those shows. I imagine you used to love, which I loved, was it Friday Night Armistice?
Yeah, loved that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think had you been around then, you would be part of that.
I don't know.
Team.
I think I'm not Oxbridgey enough.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but maybe, yeah.
But possibly.
I'd like to think so.
So yeah. But then, so you see Stewart, you've been to the Comedy Store to watch, but it's never occurred to you that this could be a thing you do. But then you mentioned that you liked you loved Joe Brown. Frank Skinner was one of your favourite stand-up comedians.
He was my favourite.
So he was your favourite. So where does he enter your life then?
When he did Fantasy Football League.
Of course.
So I remember getting his VHS for Christmas in 1998, live in Birmingham.
Did you buy it, by the way, or was it bought for you?
I asked for it because I remember seeing it. I can remember it so vividly.
Yeah, I bet.
I saw him on Clive Anderson All Talk or whatever.
I love Clive Anderson.
Yeah. And he was interviewed, and it was to promote his VHS.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll have that, please. Because I love Frank Skinner, and now I found out there's a VHS of him doing stand-up. And then I got that, and it was filth.
Was that surprising?
Well, I didn't have a problem with it.
No, but was it... You didn't have a problem with it, but was it what you were expecting? Can you remember?
I don't remember. I remember... But it was like anal sex and wanking.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
Yeah.
And I watched that so many
It's not
times
yeah.
that the VHS warped so that... Have you ever had this when you watch a VHS a lot and it goes... Like the sound sounds like kind of waves.
Oh, I don't...
So the laughter was no longer considered because it had just been stretched out.
Wow. No, I didn't. I don't know, but I would have watched a lot of VHS
Yeah.
over and over again, but I didn't know that.
Yeah.
The image would just go, and it would start going a bit
Yeah,
wobbly.
yeah.
Yeah, all the colours gone, like it's been left out in the sun.
Mad, isn't it?
Right, and so now you have a proper idea of stand-up,
Yeah.
but still no. What would that be like? That's just born when you see Stewart.
Well,
Really?
no, because then it's put back in a drawer.
Yes.
I wanted to be a writer. At uni, I did the student newspaper.
So hang on. So sorry, I do want to go. I just want to. Where's that come from? Because we've not had that yet.
At uni, I was like, what do I want to do? I liked the idea of being a writer. I don't know where that's come from.
So you read a lot.
Not really. Like not a novelist.
Yeah.
But I read loads of magazines growing up, and
Of
I read
course,
loads
that
of
fits in so.
yeah.
So match, I
it's
imagine.
culture, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And like
Smash hits.
Loaded, yeah.
Loaded,
yeah,
right.
Yeah. All that. I loved writing, and so
And where did you imagine it? Did you imagine that being...
I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Okay.
I knew I wrote music reviews for the student paper.
Ah.
I told people it was to get free tickets, which it was, but I also loved the experience of seeing it in the paper. And I was like, the 60 words I'd written about, Razorlight's gig or whatever.
Oh, so you got a kind of kick out of it almost.
I think I felt...
I
probably what would be called, I felt seen.
Yeah, and where did that take you? From
So
after that, so you
then I got a job at Waterstones.
Did you used to have stand-up about this?
No.
Okay.
Maybe.
Thank you. Okay.
Maybe.
Oh, no. We did a very tiny gig together in Brighton and someone worked in Waterstones and then you told them you worked in Waterstones.
Oh, right, yeah.
You know, when you're young, you remember every gig into great detail. So, sorry, yes. So you get a job in Waterstones. All right, so you read my book.
Just to kill time.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And then after a year, I moved to London. And
Why?
Because everyone was kind of leaving Manchester and I didn't want to be the last person at the party and I was totally rudderless. So it felt like a thing to do.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I tell you what happened actually also is my brother...
this is your half-brother you mentioned.
Henry, yeah. He started sending in jokes to open door thing at Radio 4 called Parsons and Naylor, which was Andy Parsons and Henry Naylor.
Wow.
And he got some on, and I remember feeling deeply jealous.
Oh, okay.
It's a really good way of knowing what you want to do.
Yes, I suppose it is.
And then we started submitting sketches for a thing called News Review. Do you know this? Like, it's kind of...
The Edinburgh show.
Yeah, but they do it all year round in Little Venice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, this is near Paddington in
Yeah.
West London. There's a very small venue, the Canal Cafe.
There, they do it there.
And they do a night called, is it weekly? Monthly or fortnightly or something?
Know.
It's regularly called News Review.
Yeah.
Right.
And we got loads on, mainly
People
his.
like Sarah Pascoe did it.
Yeah. We got people on, got stuff on, mainly his, has to be said. And then we started submitting scripts and we didn't really we got a kind of, like thanks but no thanks.
Yeah.
But like keep submitting that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh, that means I'm going to be the next Simon Pegg.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you'll hold on to anything, right?
Absolutely.
But then it felt like that wasn't really going anywhere. And then my brother met Rod Gilbert, my brother lived in Wales, who was at that time bubbling under, about to...
Yeah. He'd be closing all of the clubs.
Everyone knows that he's going to be a star.
Successful Edinburgh shows.
Yeah, it's a matter of time.
Yes, right.
That kind of.
Okay.
And so he said, "Oh, since I've started doing stand-up, I just get offered, like, do you want to write a Radio 4 sitcom? Do you want to write this?" And it was like, oh, so that's how you get your foot in the door.
Wow. Yeah.
So really, it was just a foot in the door thing.
Foot in the door. That's such a for me. That's such a unique. I mean, I never knew that about you. That's such a unique.
It's a long way to get a foot in the door, but
yeah. And it worked. I mean,
yeah, but I didn't think I want to be touring stand-up in 15 years, 18 years. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it hadn't even occurred to me. It was like, oh, maybe then I could be like Dave Gorman or something, you know, where he's like writing books and he's like got.
But it's funny. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. You're writing books, and he also kind of comes up with these interesting formats. I remember what was the show where he meets all the other Dave Gormans?
Are you Dave Gorman?
I mean, I'm maybe I'm completely wrong, but even that I can imagine you almost coming up with that idea. There's
more difficult with my name. But like,
you have. I find it so interesting. It's the perfect ending, really, for the show, is that you did stand up to get you in the door for everything that you do today. You do write books. You do come up with these shows.
I didn't know what a podcast was in those days.
No, but you know the shows, podcasts are shows, TV show. You had the sitcom, Josh.
Yeah,
and it's amazing that stand up was the way in, and of course you still do fantastic stand up today.
But I always wanted a sitcom, and the weird thing was about it. Then I got it, and if I'm honest, I didn't enjoy acting at all.
You were young. You were young to be the lead of a sitcom that was based on.
Yeah, I found that very difficult.
I found that very
difficult. And
were you still in your 20s?
No, I was just 30.
I do think that's still young to be heading that and not just leading.
Yeah, I found that very difficult. So that was, I found that I just, we were talking about earlier on to tie it up, where do my arms go?
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. I would never do acting again, because all that was for me was, where do my arms go? Where do my feet go? And however many times people are really good with you and they're like, listen and react and stuff. Yeah.
I got very lucky in that when I got to do panel shows, there was something about myself. I was natural at them.
Style, yeah.
I wasn't fazed by them. I didn't get in my own head. I was good at reacting in the room. And when I started acting, you don't know as a stand-up what your skill set will then turn out to be good at.
Yes.
So I can do panel shows and I can do podcasts. The moment I started acting, there was something in my head that could never let go, that could never enjoy it, that could never, however much I got through it, and people helped me and they were brilliant, the producer Simon and director David, that's the least comfortable I've ever felt in my job.
Right. Well, it was. Having said that, it ran for 3 seasons, I think.
But it's another classic. Well, it wasn't. No, it's another classic middle, isn't it? But we were talking about no hits, no. There's very few hits. It's a. Are we gonna? But I'm delighted I did it, and I loved some of the writing, and I loved the other. But I just didn't enjoy acting.
Right.
Which is annoying, because wanting my own sitcom was the whole fucking point.
You know what? I think I'm not carrying on the pod after that. No. That's it. That's perfect. Thank you so much. And just to say again, I love the new pod.
Thank you.
Museum of Pop Culture.
Thank you, Sean.
Available on all platforms?
Presumably. I mean,
yeah.
Spotify or Apple, isn't it?
Google. Who's listening on Google Podcasts? Yeah.
I heard someone say, "Is it available on YouTube podcasts?" And I thought, I didn't know that was a thing.
Apple or Spotify.
Yeah.
Go and listen to that.
I think it is on all of them. But
It's on all of them.
Yeah.
It's on all of them. It's fantastic. And of course, Parity. All right,
global player.
thank you so much. That is the end of part 2 with Josh Widdicombe. Thanks for watching or listening. Remember, Josh's new pod, The Museum of Pop Culture, is out now, available on all platforms. And also, I think you should go and see him live. He's a fantastic stand-up comedian. He's got his current tour, Not My Cup of Tea, which you should get tickets for now. That's enough from me. Remember to subscribe, remember to like, remember to share the pod. We greatly appreciate it here at Class Clown. I've been Seann Walsh, lots of love, and see you next week. Cheers, bye.